needs to be organic.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, all right, moving on.
Alrighty.
So I think we need to walk through how Mr. Cage works.
Well, I think we can start with a mission statement of Cage, where a lot of the characters that are returning, we radically redesigned them and made them play a lot different.
Right.
With Johnny Cage, we actually went in the opposite direction, and I would describe him as very old school. He kind of reminds me of Fisticuffs Cage from the last game, or even just straight up Mortal Kombat 2. Mm-hmm. I think he's actually simpler to play. He is less execution heavy. There's no longer a lot of cancels and complex stuff. He kind of has the basic 2D fighting game move list that you need to succeed. But all the flash and the humor and all that is in his animations, his victories. You can see in the trailer, a lot of goofy comedy moves.
He's got a lot of flair to him.
He utilizes his stunt double in a lot of his moves.
Oh, the stunt double.
That's
really
one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, so he has a ton of flash, but actually controlling the functionality is very old school to me. Cool. Which I think is kind of cool.
And
into it. Oh.
And not to there are some things too that I've been working on with him there are some things that again the next level of
there's
what you're
definitely
doing.
some callbacks to some of his more complex stuff that we'll get into.
Yep.
But just his base kit is pretty old school.
Cool. And I think we've seen that a lot in a lot of these characters, that there's characters you can, if you're not going to a tournament, you're not going to Combo Breaker to play, but you want to play against your buddy on the couch, there's a lot of characters you can pick up and be successful with, and if you want to take the next step up and go up the mountain, that's there for you too.
And that's one of the cool things about the custom variation system is you can actually make one that's I'll show one that's just straight up Mortal Kombat 2, but you can have one that has some of his MKX moves. There's some brand new moves you saw with the camera and throwing his sunglasses. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, the sunglasses thing got some pretty good hype.
Throwing shades.
So what's this one? Is this the base, the MK2?
This is his base, and I added a couple things that we'll go over when I'm done with the base. But this is his default look, and we'll go over his default moves. So,
is one of your favorite things per week naming the variations?
Yes, I take great joy in it.
Okay.
So to start off, his arcing fireball that he typically has is actually gone, and he uses his Mortal Kombat 1 straight fireball.
Okay.
So this is actually a really good fireball, which you don't normally think of with Johnny Cage, but it's really fast. The amplified one is actually a double fireball. I think it's actually really strong. You kind of asked me, hey, what do you do with a fireball? And I basically said, there's no reason not to just do it. You really can't go wrong.
Just keep throwing it out.
Yeah.
With them, right?
The other thing is his classic shadow kick is back. It's exactly what you want. It's very fast. It's still a high, so they can duck under it, but it travels the full screen. It's a great whip punisher. It's a great check. It's the shadow kick.
And the amplified version of that, has that changed at all? I noticed you had amplifies in an earlier build. They were a little different.
Yes.
How have you adjusted them?
Well, one of the things is we listened to feedback, and we actually made it so that to amplify a move, you just hit the interact button. You just hit the right bumper. So you go for the nut punch, and that's the regular one. If you amplify it, you just hit the right bumper, and it'll actually go off. So we've actually simplified it since what we had at the reveal event, where it was a different button press for every amplified move.
Cool.
Yeah, we're definitely, we have these events and things like that. We do like to, to take some fan feedback. Obviously not everything will work with the game that we're creating, but, that was one of the things we heard a lot about and thought that, let's run some tests with that, see how it goes, and it seems to be working pretty well that way.
Yeah.
So.
Now, to be clear, they are not EX moves. They're still amplified. So I'm not doing the nut punch with block at the same time to just immediately do it. Mm-hmm. I'm doing the nut punch, then I amplify it a few seconds later. So you still have the different timing depending on how you want you to do the move, but the button's always going to be universal. And the timing window is huge. So they're not meant to, and they are not difficult at all.
Mm-hmm. I did a few, so I know they're
easy. Execution is not the barrier of entry when it comes to...
Exactly. We want to think about how you're using your offensive stamina meter, not that it's hard to do. So that's why we decided to go with that input system.
And I will say, it's funny, now that I've been playing with this way and how it is, I will kind of forget about my meter. So now, because I'm doing them so much more often, because I'm remembering everything, I'm looking at my meter, I'm like, why didn't that come out? And Steve's like, you ran yourself out of meter.
Yeah, bro.
Yep. All right, Steve, continue.
So let's go over some of his normals. I think Cage, to me, excels at the mid-range. So he's got 3 or 4 key moves I'd like to show.
Okay.
The first is his forward 3, which is, like always with Johnny Cage, a long-range advancing move. And this combos into these awesome sidekicks. It's super fun to mash it. I mash the hell out of it.
You only have to press it twice.
Yes, but I enjoy doing it that way.
He's making extra sure.
Right.
And the big thing there is it's very easy to hit confirm. You can see that the kicks are coming, and you can stop mashing and go into shadow kick or nut punch. And
But you keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going.
And real quick, for those of people who may not know the term, hit confirm.
Hit confirm means you see the move hit, and then you go into your combo instead of just letting the string go out or blocking. Like, I saw it hit, and then, go into the nut punch.
Now, you'll watch me and Derek play, and we'll just
There's
We'll
not
just
a
throw
lot of
combos
that.
out.
just hope it works.
Yep.
The nice thing about when you two fight is there's also not a lot of blocking.
Right. Right.
So nut punch is a good linker to go into something more elaborate.
Exactly. Like, he's going to get the pop-up, and then you can do a combo. That's going to be his main way that he's going to go into his additional damage.
Nice.
But since it's punishable if it's blocked, if it's blocked, you just finish the string. You wouldn't go into the nut punch.
Or Tyler and I would.
Yes.
Honestly, I would too, because a nut punch is fun.
Yeah.
Another really good one is his forward 4, which is his knee. Johnny Cage without a knee would just... That's not a thing. Like, he's
So,
got to have his advancing.
We have a guest coming on later to
Who's
do
very familiar with the-
Washed Up Warriors. Aaron Davis, a.k.a. Dizzy, Twitter handle, Dizzy Knee.
Yes, yeah.
So-
I mean, it's Johnny Cage's signature move, and it is back. He can go into 4-4-4 and be safe. He actually has another one that leads to a crushing blow. Ooh. Now, that one's a high, so if they duck and punish it, he gets blown up. But if he knows it's going to hit, he can go into the crushing blow. And then he can also cancel that to go into combos.
All I'm watching the whole time is to see if he's smiling, and he absolutely
He
is.
is a very, very happy guy.
He's having a good day.
Now, I think another one of his key moves is his back 3, which is actually a low strike. And you can go into this flip kick, or you can, again, confirm it to the nut punch. And this is great because it's a low. So the opponent, if they're trying to walk back out of the range of these other moves, the low is going to get them. The downside is he actually does not have a really, really good overhead. He's not meant to be a 50-50 character. His only overhead is going to be his generic hop attack, which is kind of slow, and it's just a knockdown. So to me, he's going to check you with the low, keep you from walking back, but he's not really going to mix you up with an overhead. He'll probably open you up with a lot of throws.
You're going to get thrown a lot by Johnny Cage, yeah.
And lastly, he does have a pop-up with his jabs. That's like your good Punisher, like if you block Sub-Zero's slide or Scorpion's spear.
Really good in the corner as well.
Yes, you have corner comms with that.
I do.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do.
make corner comms a thing.
So to me,
Corner comms are a thing.
They're not a thing.
the crux to Johnny Cage to me is really simple, fundamental mid-screen. He's going to hover around here. He's going to look for movement. Make a guess that you're going to hit a button, go in with forward 4. You're going to be afraid to hit a button, and he's going to get jump-ins, throws. I mean, when we were talking, you pointed out that it's really good. Like, his dash is really fast, and he can just dash up and throw you because you're scared of the mid-range. And that's exactly it. And you never know when Shadow Kick's going to come.
Yeah.
His Fireball.
I was wondering, like, what do you do when you're at full screen and you need to cover that distance? Do you just slowly inch your way back to mid-range?
If he is getting zoned out, that's exactly what you have to do. But in a match like this, where Scorpion doesn't have a good projectile, his projectile is going to cover it.
Nice.
Then, of course, you'd have to look out for Scorpion's teleport and stuff like that. But essentially, yeah, inch your way in. And you can see his dash actually covers a lot of space. He always has Shadow Kick. He moves pretty fast, so he's well equipped to get in that mid-range.
He's fast for an old man, eh?
That's true.
Yeah. All right, what else we got, Steve?
So, let's go into some of the loadout moves for this variation I made.
You put some good ones in this.
Yeah, so this is his Rage Charge, and this is a very unique move. So it looks like this hook punch. And what it does is, it's a high attack, but if you block it, it becomes
We've never really
a mid.
done anything like this game.
Yeah, this is a very unique move. So the second hit makes it a mid, and you can see that it starts glowing. The second time, on the third hit, it is actually unblockable. He is set to always block. And you can amplify this to get a flip kick. So you'll see it's going to be unblockable, and he gets a pretty juicy amount of damage.
That's awesome.
So the meta here is Johnny Cage, like I said, he doesn't have a good 50-50. So it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of going for throws. He can do like block strings, go into this, and if they block it, it's charged. The second charge is a mid, the third's an unblockable. So if they just keep blocking forever, they're going to get hit by this and they're going to die.
Now, does it have to be consecutive?
It does not have to be literally consecutive, but if he gets a hit, the charge goes away.
Sure.
So actually taking the hit would be a viable strategy.
Right.
If you just want to get out of dodge and go back to zoning him. So that's kind of a pretty innovative, unique move.
Yeah, keep the pressure on and you get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, we're talking about, like, the hit confirming. You don't really have to there.
Oh yeah, you just mash it out.
Right.
And I mean, you can't really hit or block confirm a move that can't be blocked.
Right.
So I also gave him the mime parry, which is just really fun. It parries all mids, overheads, highs. And if he amplifies it, he actually gets a pop-up.
Oh.
One other fun thing is, it already lasts 1,000 years, but if you amplify it, it can actually keep going, keep doing it. So this is a great trick. Like, sometimes I'll knock them down, do it, and if they do a wake-up attack, I'll actually amplify it so it lasts even longer. It's extremely obnoxious, which I think Johnny Cage probably should be obnoxious.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some videos with that being used in some pretty.
Oh yeah,
there's been some horseplay going on.
Yeah, I mean it's the definition of horseplay. It's very, very, very silly.
And you can only amplify that one time, right?
Yes.
How early in development were you like, we need that move?
I mean,
Day one.
I was told the designer that worked on him was like popping off about how he's going to do the Ninja Mime parry like a year ago. Like that was definitely one of like his core. He has to have this.
Mad props to
Now,
Lil Baron on
now
that.
again,
Oh, yeah.
it's so you can also low attack.
Yes, you can low attack him. And then lastly, I equipped the brass knucks.
Hey.
And this is very reminiscent of Fisticuffs Johnny Cage. What this does is all of his chip damage is significantly buffed. And chip damage is already pretty strong in Mortal Kombat, but it is a significant chip damage buff.
Oh, yeah.
So this is even exactly what you were just saying 5 minutes ago, that he keeps the pressure up, you can't just
Rewarded
block
for it.
forever. Exactly. So with the Fisticuffs thing, it's even more dangerous to be going for chip damage.
And now you're still doing your charged punch. You're still
Yep.
So you're layering the way he fights, like to so this version fights a very different way than a lot of other versions you're going to create.
Exactly. Which, let's go into another one.
Straight to DVD. I do like the name.
That's
I appreciate it.
I feel like that's Johnny Cage's, that would be his role.
Yeah, that's most of his movies.
Right. So this one I wanted to make straight up Mortal Kombat 2.
Let's take a minute to enjoy this skin. It is wonderful.
It's I picked this specifically because this is MK2, so the 90s, and I think this really nails it.
It really encompasses everything about the 90s in
Yeah.
one
Yep.
image.
Yep, I love it.
So here, he loses his straight fireball, and he actually gains the old school arcing fireballs. He can do a high one, he can do the lower one, and he can do a double one. Now, these don't hit up close, so they're very different than the straight ones. However, the recovery is super, super good, and they are super fast. So while they're only good for full screen, they're very, very, very hella good full screen.
Now you can get jump ins too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which you see in the trailer. If you read from full screen that they're going to try to jump in, it's really going to cover the air. Then I also gave him his flip kick is replaced with his MK2 anti-air uppercut. It's safer than the other one. It does more damage, and the meter burn actually, well, not meter burn, amplified, can come out as that second hit and catch him.
So if you whip on the first one, you still have something
Exactly.
to utilize.
That's a day one strategy, guys.
Day one
In
strat.
your online tournaments, day one, you do that, and then they try to punish you, and you do it. I do it all the time. It's great. So how about one more loadout?
Yeah.
All right. What's the last one?
Do my own stunts, where I gave him a couple of different.
Ooh,
This is my favorite look.
the belt.
The belt's pretty great. So Johnny can actually summon. He loses his shadow kick, and he can summon a stunt double to run by and do a JBL clothesline. And if you amplify it, you get this second hit.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Then his second move is he'll call him in, bash him over the head, talk some trash, then peace out, or actually get this combo starter.
I love how the
that's
stunt double's hair is just a little off color too. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
the,
perfect.
the Johnny written on his chest is great.
Isn't it like marker or something?
Yes.
That's so good.
So the cool thing about this is it actually doesn't go away if Johnny's hit. So like if Scorpion hits Cage after he's already done the summon, the stunt double will actually come up and interrupt the combo, and then Johnny gets a combo. So while this has a ton of recovery and startup, you almost like know you're gonna get hit. You're just, yeah, come on Scorpion, come at me, bro, and then he's gonna get interrupted and Johnny will go to combo. So you are giving up your shadow kick. It's one of your best space control tools, but you're getting this wacky space control tool.
But you
to
get
make up
Jim,
for
the
it.
stunt double, which is awesome.
Yes, and that's
Is
his
that his
canonical
name?
name.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's Jim.
Jim is his canonical
Yeah.
name. So those are our loadouts. That is Johnny Cage. I think,
Johnny Cage in a box.
I love it. He's absolutely great.
yeah, I think
Really
if,
cool
if you're looking for a beginner character, in my opinion, he's one of the best we've shown so far, which is exactly what you asked about.
Yep.
I think if you just want to outspace your opponent, Just, you don't need a lot of stances or anything like that. You just kind of want your core, like really good mid-range tools. He's got it. Oh, there's one other thing.
No.
There was one other thing. We forgot his Fatal Blow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, the N2, the hit that leads into his Fatal Blow, is unlike any other in the game. He can actually charge it and cancel it.
Oh, wow.
He can actually use this to do combos. If I wasn't bad, you can do it.
Okay, that's exciting.
There you go. So, while normally he does not have the style of cancels that he had in A-List, if he's in 30% health, he actually gets desperate and remembers all his cancels. So, while it's not a normal thing, he doesn't have access to it all the time. That kind of pressure and combos are in the game if you have the execution to do it.
Oh,
when Fatal Blow's available.
That's. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Johnny, and I didn't know that. That's the one thing I have not known today. So we are going to see that in a tournament, and everyone's going to flip their lid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dizzy already has a lot of really cool stuff with it, including a combo that I almost want him to hit me with. I almost want him to hit me. And we'll go ahead and do it. You can see it.
He just has it with him at all times.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you had an Academy Award, wouldn't you have it with you at all times?
True.
To be fair, I don't believe that's an Academy Award.
No,
You're right. That is not an Academy Award. It is not. It is actually the FGC Award for Best Footsies.
There you go. There you go.
And that's one thing I think about Johnny Cage that we can talk about is that most versions of Johnny Cage, I mean, at least up until for a while, have been footsies are his thing,
Yes.
and they have been for a long time.
I think he'll be very much at home. If you liked MK9, MKX, or the 2D Johnny Cages, I think he plays exactly what you'd expect.
Well, for me, I'm a fairly casual player, so I just love the troll aspect of the character.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing how many ways I control my opponent is really exciting.
He's got to be one of the most obnoxious characters ever.
Like, there will be times when you've, like, maybe nearly flawless someone, and you just stand over their body and amplify the parry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't want it to hit, and you're going to do it again when you knock him down again, but you're just going to amplify parry all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I will absolutely do that.
And it actually has a crushing blow in it, too, the parry.
Yes, it does.
And so does Nut Punch. So,
Yes.
Oh.
which is good for some combo creation as well.
He may have access to the trolliest, silliest crushing blow I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Which maybe that'll happen during Lost Warriors.